Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I'm George. We're all George. So, happy Saturday. Today, Bitcoin is looking a whole lot better, including some of the alts like XRP. Yeah, that's right. XRP is pumping. So, I got to talk about this reversal signal that's been confirmed. And you know what comes next? A pump. A pump is imminent. So, let's talk about all these things and what has happened this week. And more. All right, let's do it. Welcome. Take a look. Bitcoin is 58.8. Slowly rising up. Maybe the sell pressure from Germany has stopped. Maybe that's the reason. And I couldn't help but notice that XRP is up a staggering 16% today, and it's still going. I'm going to try to explain it. It's hard to. Maybe because I've been showing that famous XRP educational video a lot more recently, and it got, stuck in people's psyche, and now they're just buying up XRP. I don't know if that's the case, but I'll try to explain it at the end of the day, or end of this video. All right, but what is going on? Why is Bitcoin coming back up? A couple things. Okay, first of all, this week we had a lot of talk about CPI inflation, PPI inflation, Fed rate cut in the US. Is it coming? Well, don't know. Maybe not in July, but certainly, because July is now 6.2%. But September is now staggering 90%. So most likely it's going to come in September. But that did do a couple of things. Obviously, we want rate cuts sooner than later. But if it's September, we'll take that. But the dollar index started dropping. Okay, and that's a good thing. You know why? Because usually when the DXY goes down, and it's breaking down right now, excuse me, when it breaks down, it's good for Bitcoin. There's always just inverse relationship. When the DXY goes down, meaning the strength of the dollar is going down, assets like Bitcoin go upwards. It makes sense because if the strength of the dollar is going down, that means a lot of people are less inclined to hold dollars or bonds or notes or whatever, right? And they're going to use that to purchase assets like Bitcoin with. So that is, you can see with the arrows, pretty self-explanatory. That looks like something's about to happen, right? This is one of the things I want to show you guys about this reversal signal because, yeah, DXY is starting to break down. And if it keeps on going downwards, that's going to help Bitcoin in a big, big way. So that's the first signal. I'll just say that's the first signal. Now, another signal is this, okay? And it finally happened on Friday, I believe. Yes, it was Friday. It was yesterday. Germany finally unloaded all of its Bitcoin. Now only has $37 worth, and I think that's from donations. But basically, there's no more. Okay, they don't have any more to sell. And we're all cheering for this, right? Again, the timing of it, I guess the amount, why they did it on the open market rather than OTC. There are a lot of weird questions I don't think we'll ever get answers to. Okay, but we do have people sending this to Germany. HFSP. German government. You know what that stands for? Have fun staying poor. This is how the Bitcoin maxis are. So that's probably why they have $37 worth, is because of all the donations now. People are sending them with messages like that. Okay. Again, this is over. So this is one less thing we have to worry about. Okay. Now, Genesis, maybe that's still a concern. Mt. Gox, maybe that's still a concern, but at least we have one last thing to worry about, and that is absolutely fantastic. Okay, another one is this. Minor capitulation seems to be in full force, which means that they may be done selling too. The hash rate drawdown from peak is about 7.6%, which hasn't happened since January of 2023. And that was when, guess what? That was when Bitcoin hit 15, 16,000. Okay. 15, 16,000. Matthew asked, why do you always skip over August like it doesn't exist? Because, Matthew, okay, with your condescending tone, there is no FOMC meeting in August, my man. That's why we're going from July to September. Do you not see up here July 31st, September 18th? There is no FOMC meeting in August, Matthew. Okay, since you're so smart, how did you not realize that? Matthew Plosky. How about you just... I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. Now you just ruined my my thing. But okay, I'm going to keep on going here. Yeah, so we haven't seen this hash rate drawdown since Bitcoin being at $16,000. Okay, so that is important. That's another reversal signal. Think about it. Bitcoin at 58,000, 59,000, 16,000, big difference. It's kind of like correlated with, you know, the fear and greed index. A lot of these measurements that we had that measure fear, it's kind of the same thing, right? So it seems kind of silly to be worried about Bitcoin at this point, right? So Willy Woo summarizes early signs of minor capitulation. Germany has no more coins to sell. Mean reversion indicator showing reversal. Lots of bottom signals. Yeah, that's right. A lot of bottom signals. All right, what else is there? We had a massive ETF inflow. Massive inflow indeed. $310 million. Okay. I've been making this point. I hope you guys understand this. Massive ETF inflows means there are a lot of institutions and fund managers and family offices, all the big whales. They're loading up right now. This is one of the ways we can see it. Before it was hard. We could kind of see on-chain activity. We could see some massive address, you know, accumulating. But this is right in front of you. Okay, $310 million going into the ETFs on Friday alone. I bet BlackRock $120 million alone. Fidelity $115 million. So, what does that tell you? You got to load up. These guys are loading up. They know something's going to happen. These are supposed to be the smartest financial people on the planet from Wall Street, right? And if they're loading up right now, that's what you got to do because the reversal is coming. And they know that, and I know that, and you guys watching now know that, okay? So, you got to pay attention to what these guys are doing. Mr. 100, whoever he may be, it may be exchange, it may be like some fintech company, it may be someone that has a ton of money because they have $4 billion worth of Bitcoin. But you know what they're doing? They continue to DCA every single day, basically 100 to 500 Bitcoins every single day, and they never stop. Okay, so that's what we have to do. We got to follow these guys, continue to DCA, 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 and DCA, right? So all fantastic. And here's another one too. The third largest Bitcoin address supposedly belonging to Robinhood. Okay, we don't know. It's not confirmed. They just bought 3,400 Bitcoin, right? Just last week. Just in a single day. Just purchased 3,400 Bitcoin for about 200 million. So you may be wondering why Germany's selling has not brought Bitcoin down more, because all these guys are buying. These are just a few examples. Imagine what I didn't cover or what people didn't find. There are billions being bought behind the scenes right now. Okay. So as for these reversal signals, there are a lot of them. I just mentioned all of them, right? The ETF buying, Germany is not selling, minor capitulation coming to an end. But, you know, when it comes to charts, you look at some of these moments, the LMACD crossover. Okay, my camera's kind of covering it, but just look at that. Every single time, this goes back a few years, going to the beginning of 2023 and 2022. But you can see every single time we have this crossover, a bullish crossover. Okay, not a negative one, but a bullish crossover, and we just had it. Guess what happens? Bitcoin goes on a tremendous pump. Every single time. You can't ignore reversal signals like this. Okay, you just can't. Well, you could, but then you just go lose out on a whole bunch of money. Why would you, right? It's 100% accurate. So pay attention, okay? We are going to flip above. Maybe we have to wait one more month or one more week or whatever, right? But it's going to happen. There's zero doubt about it. Here's another one, another reversal signal. This is the Bollinger Bands. Okay, we're getting a squeeze and we're touching upon the lower band of the two, right? And the last two times this has happened, going back to 2022, Bitcoin went up 100%. And then the prior time, it went up 200%. Again, we're just going off of history. What has happened before, right? That's the whole point of these charts and signals and patterns. To see what has happened before and what can happen again. So the last two times, we had 100% rise, 200% rise. Even if we go 100% from our current level, we're breaking six figures. We are going to touch upon $110,000 to $120,000. And maybe we just take a break after that. And that could be within a few months. Maybe by November, right after the elections. Bitcoin could be at 110,000. We may end the year at 125. That would not surprise me whatsoever. You got to pay attention to these things, guys. Got to pay attention. Here's another one. Every single triangle that we have formed on the 2-month chart, you know, what happens afterward, you know, you may get a little consolidation, you get a little dip, but when you zoom out, you really can't tell. This goes all the way back to the beginning, guys, all the way to 2011. And we've been forming the same pattern over and over and over and over and over again. It's not going to stop. Right? So again, when in doubt, zoom out. Know that Bitcoin is moving as it should. We got temporary FUD, but we got a lot of big catalysts also coming up. And Bitcoin does not care about FUD. Bitcoin will continue to move forward and higher. And there's no one that's going to stop that. No one. Here's a catalyst, right? The Ethereum spot ETF, that is coming. But it seems like the SEC is delaying things. Eric is saying it's quiet on the Western Front on the ETFs, not over on the SEC this week. Unclear why it's taking such a sweet-ass time, okay? Every issuer is ready. So, you know, maybe we get surprise yeses this week. Don't know, right? But the SEC has been, I don't know if I would say losing, or Gary Gensler is just giving up because he knows he's going to be out of office in a few months. They've been withdrawing left and right, and I think that has to do with XRP's pump today too. So this actually came out yesterday. SEC drops a 3-year investigation into Blockstack, okay, who raised $70 million in an ICO. That's a huge amount. They just dropped it after investigating them for years. And you know who Blockstack, you know who they are. Well, they're the ones who created Stacks. Okay. So basically, I mean, along with the XRP case and Ripple case, basically this is saying that if you raised money through ICO, that doesn't mean that you're a security. Okay? They have to analyze everything based on case by case, with every project. You can't automatically just assume just because a project had an ICO or did any kind of fundraising that it's a security, right? That's basically what it's coming down to. This is a big win too. So Stacks is no longer considered a security. And Mark Cuban even said this, that Stacks was one of the very few tokens that actually went to get approval from the SEC before they did their ICO. And somehow they were still slapped with that, investigation, right? But they finally ended it, which is great. So it seems like the SEC is starting to just let go. Here's another one that happened a few days ago. SEC was investigating Paxos over Binance USD because SEC also, at least Gary did, said that stablecoin issuers were issuing securities, that stablecoins themselves are securities. But now they just ended that and they said, no, we're not going to investigate them either. So I don't know. This is all great news. The SEC, whoever, they sent a Wells notice to Uniswap, I think last year. Maybe they're going to just, cancel that too. Maybe this lawsuit with Coinbase. Well, no, they did end that, right? They already ended that. So, one after another, they are losing cases or they're just not proceeding with them. Again, could be Gary realizes that, hey, I'm out of here in a few months. I don't care anymore. Or he's starting to feel the pressure and realizes that he just can't declare everything a security. One or other. All absolutely fantastic. And I think that's the reason why, in case you're tuning in and you're wondering why XRP is pumping, I think that's the reason why. There must be some kind of insider thing that's leaking around, or people are putting two and two together and realizing that this final case between Ripple and SEC may be coming to an end. There were three things that the SEC was going after: the legal token sale, secondary sales of XRP, and I forgot the third one. The founders, Brad and Chris Larson, selling XRP too. So they won two of them. The third one is whether or not they had a legal token offering and they were trying to settle with that. Maybe that settlement's coming through. There's something going on. To move 16% in a single day and 22% in a week, that takes massive amount of money. So I think there's something going on. Insiders know that maybe a favorable settlement is coming because XRP said that they would pay $10 million. SEC wanted $2 billion. Maybe they're just going to settle at something like 15, 20 million and be done with it. And that would probably send XRP much higher. So there's something going on there, right? I think it's due to all these because just the last few days, this was dropped. So now people are putting together maybe the XRP one will be dropped soon or settled. I think that's the reason. All right. That is it. Let's do some Q&A. I wonder if this coming week, we get ETF approvals. I think it could be a pretty big week. That's another thing that's coming too. But yeah, 16% in a single day for XRP. That's a little too much here. I missed a couple super chats. Let me. Jonathan Mayer says, George, I think we're going to pump to the heavens after that huge Germany wallet dump. I think, like Jonathan, everything I was saying, all reversal indicators, okay? And I don't have the short volume, the leverage shorts. We just need a little pump, and we're going to wreck them. We're going to get some short squeezes. I think we could be right back to like 63, 64 in no time. Like seriously, within a single day, we could get back to 64 and then we're back in business. And then no one's going to remember this dip anymore. So that's how it always works. Ronan sends a large super chat. Hey George, I'm so confident in Bitcoin that I think I might sell it all, and that I believe Bitcoin will pump alt so high that you will be better off throwing Bitcoin to Sol or something more room to grow. Thoughts? Almost all retail investors always have that same thought until it doesn't happen and Bitcoin pumps and they regret it. The last 3 months prove that to be true. Okay. Bitcoin hardly moved down from its high. But if you look at alts, they went down 50, 60% in the last 3 months. Okay. So I get that altcoin season, or in altcoin season, altcoins move way faster than Bitcoin. But in a 4-year span, holding Bitcoin is still advantageous in many ways, especially during the dips, during volatile times. So you got to be careful with that. A lot of people that were very heavy into alts really regretted it in the last 3 months. Abdi. George, at what point do you cut your losses with any coin? 25% down, 50% down, or some other factor? There's no right or wrong to that. It's just like when you want to take profits. It's just when you feel like the time is right. You know, if you're down 50% and you just see things not moving, especially when there are fastest horses in a race, you know what? Sometimes you just got to cut your losses and move over. But sometimes when you do that, you end up costing yourself because what you were holding starts pumping, right? I think you just got to pay attention. You got to really pay attention to what has the momentum, what's going on in some of these chains, whether there's really any true reason for the pumps or movements. You know, there's a number of things. Lingo. Any thoughts on lingo? What is lingo? Is it a meme? It doesn't really show up. I don't think it's this. Reaper, I don't know what lingo is. Joe Mama, appreciate that. Hey, I didn't run any polls today. What's a good poll to run? Let's do a Bitcoin one. Sith Lord, do you own MSTR or you buy some? Yeah, I did buy some. I got something staggering to show you guys. Because I was doing this myself the other day and I couldn't believe this about MSTR and how hot it is. Michael Saylor's onto something, right? And Wall Street is rewarding him big time. All right, let's do. Okay, so this is side by side look. Let's go out to the daily view. Bitcoin and zoom out here. Bitcoin and MicroStrategy. So MicroStrategy is on the right, Bitcoin's on the left, right? So if you look at when did MicroStrategy recently start moving? It's right around here, right? February. Same thing with Bitcoin. Bitcoin was at 42,000 and then it started shooting up, right? So here's a staggering thing. And maybe Bitcoin would be more if you go back all the way down to here, right? Because that's when MicroStrategy was down to 2 something. But let's just say recent times from February on. If you look at a percentage, it's actually kind of nutty. Where is it? No, that's not what I want. That's not what I want. Price range. So you look at it from, I don't know. Okay, let's do it from here. So February, Bitcoin was about 42,000 to where it is now, 58.8. It's about 40% higher. Okay, you do that same time range from February, when MicroStrategy is 458 to where it is now. That's a staggering 214%. I mean, that is crazy, right? So obviously people that have been loading on MicroStrategy has been killing it from February to now, even with the dip, even with what we went through in April, March, May, June, July. MicroStrategy is still up 214%. So I think there is some advantage to holding some MicroStrategy stock, especially with the 10-to-1 split. I think that's going to allow them to go even higher. So, he does have an advantage. MicroStrategy can raise endless debt to buy more Bitcoin with, right? Most companies raise debt and they spend it on operations or whatever, acquiring other companies. I don't know. But with Saylor, he just continues to buy more and more Bitcoin. Now, if you go back further, I think Bitcoin evens out because, Bitcoin bottomed around here, right? January. So let's go back. Let's go back to the low point, the lowest point of the cycle. Bitcoin is still up 273%. And then let's go to the lowest point over here. Yeah, damn. MicroStrategy up 1,000% since the January 2023. That's 4x more than Bitcoin. Anyways, just something to think about. All right, looking at polls, 72% thinks we're going to pump next week, so that's good. Yay has a lot of potential, maybe a gem to look at. I have a feeling it doesn't, but 4.4 million. Let's see. Restricted. I can't look at it. So because of that, I'm going to say I can't look at it. Thoughts on Chronos? It's just Chronos not something I'm interested in. Seems like there's a lot of fake, fishy projects and fake volume on Chronos. I think Crypto.com as an exchange is fine, but Chronos itself, not interested in. How much caffeine do you consume in a day? Probably a lot. Probably a lot. ADA and XRP pumping is hilarious. Is ADA pumping? ADA's not really pumping. Okay, 16% is pumping. But still, it's been painful for XRP holders. I mean, it's still nowhere close to its 2018 high. Andre, do you think Mt. Gox and Genesis would cause a big negative impact on markets? It could, it could not. I don't know. Last week, those FUD already came out and didn't do much to the market, right? Unless they actually massively dump, like massively dump this week, they could be non-issues. Especially when ETFs are inflowing this much again, right? We're talking about close to $1 billion of inflow this last week. That's a massive amount. What about that special XRP video? Put a link, please. No. I have the only copy in existence. It's super, super, super valuable. So I can't just like share that. I have to be very selective when I play it. Why did you promote the Rulos coin? When did I do that? I took a picture with that guy. That doesn't mean I promote his coin. In fact, he's pissed off at me because I've been texting him about fighting the IFC. You know, he's been fighting it with everyone, and BitLord was like going at him. So I've been asking if he wants to fight an IFC, and then he told me that he's too good for it. So, so yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. I already did a Biden versus Trump poll. It's pretty obvious, okay? It was like 90% Trump. There's no need for that. There's literally no one that believes that Biden is still all there and would make a good president for the next 4 years. There's no need to have that kind of poll. CME launches ICP XRP. That's why it's pumping. Is ICP pumping? Yeah, but so is Stellar. And so is Maker. I don't know. Stellar's probably pumping because of XRP. People think they're like one and the same, and they're not. I still don't get why people like ICP. When you go on a world tour with your crypto fighters, I pretty much am doing that. I'm going all over the world. I don't actually enjoy traveling that much. But unfortunately for the remainder of this year, I think I'm going to be traveling a lot. So I don't know. Maybe I could skip some of the events, but that would look bad. GoDP. I'm thinking going 2x and AVAX for 20K. Please advise. I can't advise you that. If you want to do that, great. If you don't, you could just always just buy AVAX. It's still down vastly from its high. So its previous high is 30 billion. It still needs to do a 3x from its current level to hit previous high. Can it happen? Yes. I think something like that could happen even by the end of this year. I don't know if you guys noticed, paid attention to the new M5. I don't know why, it just came up in my feed. The new M5 is a plug-in hybrid, and it gained over 1,000 pounds versus the new one, versus the old one. So now it's like a 5,400 pound car versus like a 4,300 pound car. It's crazy that it gained over 1,000 pounds, but it also gained 100 horsepower to kind of make up for it. But whether it did, I don't know. I just thought that was kind of ridiculous. I don't see a lot of people driving M5s. I don't know, the appeal of them, quite not there. I think everyone just goes for an X5 M instead of an M5. M5 is overrated. Yeah, I don't know. I was really into M5s back in the day. Now, yeah, just like I prefer SUVs. Killer Whale show is so bad, embarrassing for crypto. Why? I hope it's not, because now I'm a whale on killer whales too. What amount do you want to get to for retirement? Realistically, in the 8-figure range, so 10 million plus, probably. I think a very comfortable number would be about 30 to 40 million, around there. Just got a 2018 M3 in manual transmission. Feels good to be back in manual after SUV free. Yeah, I wouldn't drive a 6-speed as a daily driver, but for a weekend car, for a car you just want to take out when it's a nice day or something, nothing beats a manual. They're just so fun. The 79 Pro, I'm not going to look at it, okay? Da Vinci calls out a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff that he gets paid to do and takes large allocations to do, okay? He will always be one of the GOATs when it comes to Bitcoin and Bitcoin calls, but as for all the other stuff, nah. Side note, Robert says, the EQS is tiny, the trunk barely fits to the EQS SUV or the the sedan. I'm thinking you're referring to the sedan. The EQS SUV is not as big as a 3-row like the GLS. It is more like a mid-size SUV. But it drives pretty damn good. They both drive really good. Excited for Olympic basketball this year? Yeah, I mean, when you got all the stars of the NBA playing, there's no way you're going to lose. Kawhi getting kicked off the team is embarrassing for himself. Like, Kawhi just basically lost the respect of everyone at this point. He never plays anymore, is always on load management, always injured, and now the fact that he didn't even really want to play on the USA team and then they just kicked him off, it's like he just tarnished his own legacy. It was just, I don't know what's going on with him. I keep getting like these. Shorts of private jet tours. Like a G700 or something. It's like 70 million, or a G600 for 50 million. Like, man, I don't ever want to get a private jet, but it's crazy that people can afford them, and then you gotta hire pilots. You gotta have like a storage fee every time you fly, the jet fuel cost, everything. It's like hundreds of thousands of dollars per month. It's just crazy that people have that much money to fly around the world in their private jets. I don't know what I think about ASI. They took a big blow when Coinbase said they won't support their conversion. So now if you have fat tokens on Coinbase, you got to remove them. But outside of that, as for the three companies combining, I think it's pretty promising, ambitious. We've never seen that before. I work at Lockheed. These F-35s are 100 million each. I heard it was more. But I heard they're also all grounded because they have issues with their software. Maybe, Warren, you can confirm that. I heard F-35s are not working at all. They're just like all like sitting there. The G-Wagon, yeah, it's going to be reviewed on drivers only soon. I never would want to buy a helicopter too. I'd rather drive than fly in a helicopter. RB, G-Wagons are not normal cars, man. You're sitting high up, it has a nice throaty V8 sound. It's very comfortable inside, and it's just very masculine. Everyone loves it. It's a trophy wife car, but guys could drive it too. All right, guys. I'll let you go. Overall, there are a lot of reversal signals here, okay? Many, many, many of them. And Bitcoin's doing well. We got some alts that are pumping too. Overall, it's a pretty good day. Pretty good start to the weekend. Let's see where it goes. But Germany's finally done selling, which is big. And it's just a matter of time before we get right back up to 64,000 and break through that once again. All right? Smash it a like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys on Monday. But look forward to my Sunday walk video tomorrow. All right. Take care, guys.